ਪਿਛਲੇ ਦਿਨਾਂ ਦੌਰਾਨ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਘਟਨਾਵਾਂ ਦੇਖਣ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲੀਆਂ। ਇਸ ਘਟਨਾਵਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਏਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵਿਸ਼ੇਸ਼ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਟਾਰਗੇਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਘਟਨਾਵਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਲੋਕ ਮਾਰੇ ਗਏ ਆ। ਉਸ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਰਿਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਹੋਇਆ ਪੂਰੇ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਇਆ। ਰਾਸ਼ਟਰਪਤੀ ਜੋ ਬਾਈਡਨ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਇਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਸਟੇਟਮੈਂਟ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਘਟਨਾਵਾਂ ਉਹ ਬਰਦਾਸ਼ਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਜਾਣਗੀਆਂ। ਐਲਕ ਗਰੋਵ ਸਿਟੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਕੈਲੀਫੋਰਨੀਆ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਬੜਾ ਅਗਾਂਹ ਵਧੂ ਸਿਟੀ ਆ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਅੱਜ ਇੱਕ ਰੈਜੂਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਪਾਸ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਕਿਹਾ ਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਹੇਟ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਲਈ ਇੱਥੇ ਕੋਈ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਅਤੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਹੈ, ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਹੇਟ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਕਿਸੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਉਹ ਆਪਣੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਰਿਪੋਰਟ ਆ ਉਹ ਜਲਦ ਤੋਂ ਜਲਦ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਡਿਪਾਰਟਮੈਂਟ ਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਦੇਣ। ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਫੰਕਸ਼ਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੈਂਬਲੀ ਮੈਂਬਰ, ਕੌਂਸਲ ਮੈਂਬਰ, ਮੇਅਰ, ਪੁਲਿਸ ਚੀਫ ਅਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਆਗੂ ਉਹ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਸਨ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਇਕਜੁੱਟ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੇਟ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਆ ਇਸ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਕਿਤੇ ਵੀ ਬਰਦਾਸ਼ਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਏਗਾ।
Hey, good morning. My name is Bobby Singh Allen. I'm the proud mayor of Elk Grove. Tonight, the Elk Grove City Council will consider adoption of a resolution condemning and combating the recent surge in hate attacks against Asian American and Pacific Islanders. The resolution supports legislative bills and resources promoting the Stop AAPI Hate movement. The Stop AAPI Hate Reporting Center, which was started in March 19, 2020, tracks and responds the incidents of hate, violence, harassment, discrimination, shunning, and child bullying against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders in the United States. To report an incident, please visit www.stopaapihate.org. Violence against any one of us is a threat to all of us. To combat the fear and offer support to our AAPI residents, today I am introducing a buddy program in partnership with the Elk Grove Police Department and our local nonprofit and community organizations that reinforce our commitment to community and reminds them that they are not alone. The buddy program, in partnership with area nonprofits, will allow residents to feel safer and more secure. The Elk Grove Police Department will assist with the coordination of the program for Elk Grove. A new tip line has been set up to report any hate crime, attacks, or harassment. The police department will also provide referrals to our local nonprofits for residents needing assistance. I want to thank the following organizations: OCA, Asian Pacific American Advocates; APAPA, the Asian Pacific Islander American Public Affairs; PNDA, Philippine National Day Association; IAS, the Indian Association of Sacramento; the Interfaith Council of Elk Grove; My Sister's House; and community partners advocates of Little Saigon. Additional nonprofit names will be provided in the coming days. As an Asian American immigrant, I have seen the ugly face of hate up close and personal. The murders of two elderly Sikh grandfathers was a turning point in my decision to join the Elk Grove Unified School District. I knew that education played a key role in changing the hearts and minds of our community. Passing resolutions is great, but we need action. We need more than words on paper. Supporting state and federal legislation that addresses hate crimes and expanding educational opportunities are key solutions. In the coming weeks, I will be hosting a series of webinars throughout the year to help break down barriers and foster a better understanding of each other. The first segment is called Being Asian, Being American. It will profile local voices from different cultures in Asia so that we can have a better understanding of each other. The source of Elk Grove's strength has always been with its people. Our community is diverse and compassionate, and we will get through this together, as we always do. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce our Chief of Police, Tim Albright.
Thank you, Mayor. It's my honor and privilege to be here today. My name is Tim Albright. I'm the Chief of Police for the Elk Grove Police Department. We are an incredibly diverse community and equally diverse in our organization. And I want to speak for a moment to our AAPI community here in Elk Grove that we stand with you. And we're here to support you. And there's no place for hate within this community. And the Elk Grove Police Department stands ready to assist. I'm proud to partner with our community-based organizations to better serve the AAPI community. And our staff and this community stand prepared to support that group and the efforts to make this a safer place for our AAPI community. I thank you so much for everybody being here today and for showing up for such an important announcement and an important effort to bring that home here to Elk Grove. Thank you.
Next, I would like to introduce our Assembly Member, Jim Cooper.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks for having me here. I appreciate it. Proud to be here, stand with the Mayor and the community members here regarding this subject. Hate is a cancer. It's a cancer that affects our nation, and we need to deal with it and address it head on. It's interesting the governor and legislature passed a bill to dedicate $1.4 million to collect data on the crimes against the API community. That's good, but what really bothers me is the data is going to show what we already know, that our API community is being attacked on a regular basis. The hate crimes are out there. What are we going to do with that data? You ask yourself. Part of the problem is really dealing with the people that do this, the perpetrators, the suspects that have hate in their heart, and it's hard to change. And what's really troublesome in California right now, a hate crime is not considered a violent crime. So if you do a hate crime where you burn a place of worship, a synagogue down, or assault someone causing great bodily injury, like the elderly Chinese lady attacked in San Francisco, it's not considered a hate crime. You're eligible to get out early. Maybe do a quarter of your time. What is wrong with that? That makes no sense. Numerous times, folks have tried in the legislature to change legislation to make hate crimes a violent crime. If that happens, all that changes is you're not eligible for early release. I don't think that's too bad if you're committing horrific crimes like this, but it can't get passed in the legislature. So last year when the API crimes first started increasing, I submitted a bill this year, AB 266, to make hate crimes violent crimes. So in those instances, when you go to prison, you're not going to get out early. But what's concerning is that you have politicians that are more concerned about the rights of the perpetrators than they are about citizens. Now, who do you stand for? Who do you stand with? There have been numerous times, and probably 4 or 5 bills in the legislature over the past 12 years to try and change that. It couldn't get changed. That is shameful, shameful to speak up. So I live in Elk Grove. I've lived here over 30 years, one of the most diverse communities in Sacramento. That's what makes Elk Grove a special community. So we've got to change that and change that narrative and really stop it, because we know what's going on, but sitting on our hands does absolutely nothing for our community. It's time to fight back. And when you ask citizens about it, they're like, yeah, that should be a violent crime. If you're beating someone elderly because of their race, if you're burning a place of worship, you shouldn't get out early. So we've got to change that. So hopefully the mayor and the members here are going to stand behind me and help me with AB 266. It's time to stop it, time to stand up for what's right. And it's horrific, and it's disturbing. It is really disturbing, and people are concerned. They don't want to go out. This is America. It shouldn't be that way. And for us to be silent means we're complicit. So Mayor Singh, thank you for all you do. We appreciate you, and we're going to win this.
Thank you. Assemblymember Bonta could not join us this morning, but he is also authoring a hate violence victim support bill, and that is going through the legislative process, and I'm proud to say that I am one of the first, actually the first, local elected official that signed on as a supporter of that legislation. And I'm of course proud to support Assemblymember Cooper's legislation as well. Next, I would like to introduce Matt Cicado with Congressman Ami Bera's office.
Thank you, Mayor. Community leaders and stakeholders here today, I'm proud to stand here on behalf of Congressman Bera. Proud to stand in solidarity against the violence, the rhetoric, and the hateful words and comments against our AAPI community. We stand here as our flag is at half-mast from recent violence, but before that, let us not forget the targeted murders of Asian women in our country, and this will not stand anywhere, yet alone here in our community. Congressman Barra joined other leaders in the House of Representatives to pass comprehensive legislation, policing legislation that address hate crimes, and he is proud, not as a longtime Elk Grove resident, someone who raised his family here and the longest serving Indian American in Congress, but someone who knows that the power we have in Elk Grove and across the region comes from the people. So we stand in solidarity, in support of the multiracial community that we have here and the fabric that we love. Thank you.
Next, to say a few words on behalf of Senator Pan is Eddie Kirby.
Good morning. Thank you, Mayor. Really appreciate it. Senator Pan apologizes that he was not able to be here today. He's in a Senate Education Committee, but of course is the first Asian Americans to represent Sacramento in the state Senate. He's 100% in support of what the mayor is doing here to help make our community more safe for Asian Americans and all of our community members. He's spoken many times about it, but obviously this is a very difficult time for the Asian American community in Sacramento and Elk Grove and across the country, and he stands in solidarity, as do we all, with the AAPI community, and really appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Next, we have Rochelle Beardsley with the Sacramento City District Attorney's Office.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rochelle Beardsley. I'm a supervising deputy district attorney here in Sacramento County. I'm here to represent our elected district attorney, Anne-Marie Schubert. And I will echo what she said in her earlier announcement. Let us be clear. Hate crimes committed against any member of any group in our community will not be tolerated, and offenders will face aggressive prosecution. Specifically, people who target and commit hate crimes against the AAPI community will be aggressively prosecuted. Thank you, Mayor, for what you're doing, and we stand in support of you.
And to close it out, my dear colleague, Councilmember Darren Sun.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank all of you for being here. I also want to recognize and thank Assemblymember Cooper and Assemblymember Bonta and Congressman Barra for the work they're doing at the legislative and federal levels. As a person of Chinese descent and a member of the AAPI community, I greatly appreciate their efforts. You just heard today from these individuals, and you heard from our mayor and our chief of police of what the city of Elk Grove is doing to keep our city safe. Now I'm here to ask your help. I need you to stand with us, to stand up against these hateful and individual acts of violence. Don't let them become our story. We can shape our own future. There are so many more of you, of us, that are good and caring people. We need you to stand up, to stand out, to keep showing up, so that when you see something that you know is unjust, that you will say something. I want our story of Elk Grove in this region to be that we are a community that has no place for hate. Be safe, take care of each other. Thank you.
Thanks for everyone coming out here. It's important. We know about the crimes against the API community, and it's really to hold folks accountable for this. Love wins over hate every time. People have to be engaged and involved, and really demand more of their politicians. And they support it and support bills that hold these perpetrators accountable.
I want to thank everyone for watching today. We're honored to pass this resolution tonight against AAPI hate. It's a resolution that stands against acts of violence in our community. We appreciate all the support in the Indian community as a member of the AAPI community. And we please take care of each other. And if you see something, please say something.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bhavin Parikh and Dr. Shankar from Diversity Inclusion Committee, City of Elk Grove. We are here today to condemn violence and racism that's happening against API, Asian American and Pacific Islanders. We are very proud of Elk Grove community. We promote, foster diversity, unity among all people. We want lawmakers to take a strong action against those perpetrator, and we need to have a community dialogue, ongoing discussion to prevent such type of hate.
So really just an honor for us to be here today to really partner with some of our community-based organizations, to really connect those within the community who might have needs to connect with a buddy program, and really proud of our community-based organizations that would step forward, partner with us. And the goal here is for those within the AAPI community who might have some level of fear as they go about their daily activities, going to the doctor, the grocery store, that they would have an opportunity to call in to our dispatch center with the number that was provided by the mayor and be connected with some of those community-based organizations, and really have the buddy program to have one of those community-based volunteers come alongside them, provide them with that confidence as they might go through their day. So as a diverse city, we are the 7th most diverse city in the entire nation. As a diverse organization that is centered on reflecting our community, we stand with our AAPI community, and we stand with all members of our community to provide a safe and enjoyable place that they can thrive, and we call that home.
So ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡਾ ਸਿਟੀ ਕਾਉਂਸਲ ਨੇ ਰੈਜ਼ੋਲੂਸ਼ਨ ਪਾਸ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ ਡਿਕਲੇਅਰਿੰਗ ਐਂਟੀ ਏਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਹੇਟ। ਅਸੀਂ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਲਈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਸਾਰੇ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਦੇਸ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮਸ ਹੋ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਏਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਅਮਰੀਕਨ ਭਾਈ ਔਰ ਭੈਣੋ ਉੱਤੇ। ਸੋ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆਪ ਪਤਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ ਹੇਟ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮਸ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਆ। ਸਾਡੇ ਆਪ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਵਿਕਟਮਸ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਹੇਟ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮਸ ਦੇ। ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਟੈਰਰ ਅਟੈਕ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਸਾਡੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਮੁਸਲਿਮ ਭਾਈਓ ਭੈਣੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਟਾਰਗੇਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ। ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਦਿਖਾਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਸੋਲੀਡੈਰਿਟੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਦਿਖਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਏਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਬ੍ਰਦਰਸ ਐਂਡ ਸਿਸਟਰਸ ਲਈ। ਸੋ ਰੈਜ਼ੋਲੂਸ਼ਨ ਪਾਸ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਅੱਜ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਨੂੰ, ਤਾਂ ਹੋਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਵਾਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਐਲਕ ਗਰੋਵ ਬਡੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ। ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਮੈਂਬਰਸ, ਅਗਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਡਰ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਸਟੋਰ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਜਾਂ ਬੈਂਕਸ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹ ਡਰ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਨ ਪ੍ਰੋਫਿਟ ਪਾਰਟਨਰਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਉਹ ਵਾਲੰਟੀਅਰ ਕਰਨਗੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਾਣਗੇ, ਐਰੰਡਸ ਰਨ ਕਰਨਗੇ, ਜਦੋਂ ਗਰੋਸਰੀ ਸ਼ਾਪਿੰਗ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਕਰਨਗੇ। ਸੋ ਉਹ ਪਾਰਟਨਰਸ਼ਿਪ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਅਨਾਊਂਸ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਐਲਕ ਗਰੋਵ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਡਿਪਾਰਟਮੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ। ਹੋਰ ਕਾਫੀ ਲੈਜਿਸਲੇਸ਼ਨ, ਅਸੈਂਬਲੀ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਜਿਮ ਕੂਪਰ ਦੀ ਲੈਜਿਸਲੇਸ਼ਨ, ਤਾਂ ਅਸੈਂਬਲੀ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਬਾਂਟਾ ਦੀ ਲੈਜਿਸਲੇਸ਼ਨ, ਕਾਂਗਰਸਮੈਨ ਆਮੀ ਬੇਰਾ ਵੀ ਫਾਈਟ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਹੇਟ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਲੈਜਿਸਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਲਈ। ਸੋ ਸਾਰੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਹੇਟ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮਸ ਨੂੰ ਐਡਰੈਸ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸਾਡੇ ਚੀਫ ਆਫ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਵੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਡਿਸਟ੍ਰਿਕਟ ਅਟਾਰਨੀ ਆਫਿਸ ਵੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਸੀਗੇ। ਸੋ ਸਾਰੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਫਾਈਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਹੇਟ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮਸ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਲਈ।
ਮੈਂ ਗੁਰਜਤਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਰੰਧਾਵਾ, ਕੈਲੀਫੋਰਨੀਆ।